Hello, my name is Gregory Wolfen, and I am a mechanical engineer sophomore in the Mechanics-Based Design Lab class at Johns Hopkins University. In this video, I will be dissecting a mechanical wind-up music box. This device is manufactured by Pursue Star and has a model number shown on the screen. This item has been available from Amazon and other websites for a few years now and was likely manufactured in 2020. I purchased the music box from Amazon for around $10. Shown on screen is a top, side, and front view of the music box. The music box gains power through a hand crank on the bottom of the device that compresses an internal spring, which is then released and spins a wheel at a controlled velocity to strike the keys in order to play a song chosen by the consumer. Since the device is centered around a spring, it is located under a cover shown at the top left of the top-down picture and cannot be taken apart. As seen in the pictures, the device does not come in an assembly. All of its components are readily available to see from the outside without any significant disassembly. Now I will begin the dissection by working through how a turn of the key on the bottom produces a constant rotation of the cylinder as seen right here. First, I will walk through all the components that make it work. Here on the bottom is the key that the user turns to wind up the spring. The spring is inside here, that silver part. Underneath it is a spring that winds up when you turn the key. This metal black tab right here is a anchor that holds the spring in place so that it doesn't unwind when we don't want it to. Once that spring starts to unwind, it spins a gear inside of here that then spins the cylinder right here. And as the cylinder spins, it strikes the keys, which produces the one of 18 different notes. Inside here is 7 standard gears and 1 worm gear. The worm gear is right here. And this part ensures that the cylinder rotates at a constant angular velocity. The worm gear is called the regulator right here. And the regulator is many times the weight of each of these gears, which allows it to control the velocity that they spin at so that the spring doesn't accelerate the rotation. As the spring that's located inside this assembly unwinds, it directly translates a load onto this cylinder right here as it spins a gear in between this gap right here. It spins a gear that is coupled with this gear that spins this cylinder. Now, this whole system of gears here that comes off of it is simply related to the regulator and controls the angular velocity that it spins at. If you can see inside of here, the big black gear that was connected to the cylinder attaches to a smaller gear right there that is coupled with this larger gear, and this larger gear is then driving this gear, which goes along here and is connected to this gear. This gear at the very end is connected to this worm gear, and this worm gear is part of the regulator, and the regulator, as it oscillates back and forth, since it's many times the weight of the other gears, it can control the velocity that it spins at. The music box is made out of 2 different materials, plastic and the metal scene holding it all together. The plastic is likely made using either injection molding or CNC machining, or a combination of both, since the components contain small details that likely need to be machined, such as the gears, while some of the larger plastic components can be created using injection molding. The metal is either made using injection molding as well, or a metal casting with some holes being tapped afterwards, since it does not contain many complex edges or details. When building a product to sell, the possible dangers the product can pose to consumers is an important factor to consider when designing. In the case of my device, it is composed of many moving parts that could potentially catch hair or loose clothing. However, none of the loads are very large and likely do not pose significant danger to a vigilant user. This device seems to be marketed towards DIY projects, though, as it is designed to be placed inside a larger object, and therefore the intended customers would be knowledgeable engineers or other crafty people who are unlikely to be in any danger from small moving gears.